Welcome friends to another Halo lore video. Everyone who is a Forerunner is put into a specific category in terms of what their abilities are, what they can do. Today we're going to look at two rates, builders and miners, because they're quite closely tied together. And before I get into the video, please drop me a like and subscribe if you'd want to. And now we're going to look at the builders first. In terms of the different classes, which the term used is rates within Forerunner society. So within the rates of the Forerunners, builders stand very much forward. They get a lot of prestige and a lot of power. If you look at Forerunner ships, buildings, ancilla and megastructures, the builders are responsible for the design and construction of them all, pretty much. They tinker with the building blocks of reality, make machines the size of moons, and put together artificial minds that can surpass even that of their creators. Now, the builder families very closely guard their talent and the accolades they're given by others, but true power lies in the guilds that they belong to. Each focuses on a very narrow range of interests, but the depth of their knowledge could not be underestimated. You get entire planets moved in some sort of competition between the different guilds to gain the attention of innovative designers. Think of all the different areas that the builders work on, from exotic matter to artificial consciousness to building dynasties for themselves and establishing massive power blocks. And some can do it all. The highest role within this rate is that of Master Builder, and a very famous one that falls into that class is Faber of Will and Might, the Master Builder, responsible for the design and legacy of the Halo. These rates of builders can be up to 4 meters in height. They have a finely carved physique, grey skin, and dark eyes. They want to show off their affluence, their position within society, so they would customize their bodies heavily, and whatever task they were given, they would mutate their body to reflect that. And so their position at the apex of Forerunner culture is shown within the frame that they wear. It reflects their position of nobility. Now, with a builder making their facilities, you get people who might want to go into that and invade it. That's why there is the position of builder security. From just protecting the facilities, this position grew in time until it eclipsed that of the warrior servants in terms of authority, leading up to the appearance of the flood. Builder security was of such power that a warrior servant would transition over to that rank, and new mutations will be introduced to bridge that gap between the two rates, builder and warrior. And in the end, the isodidact, who had been born a builder, yet became a warrior servant through the imprint of the original didact, united both rates to make their final stand against the flood. Joined by the Master Builder, these efforts were valiant and noble, but ultimately futile. And now we'll move over to the miners. Despite the wisdom that they can bring and the council, which is very respected, they never had a high position amongst the Khomeni Council because they didn't covet political power. Their passions lay elsewhere. Remove them from Forerunner society and you'd get no megastructures, no peerless architecture, and no grand Forerunner starships that traversed the stars. The miners lay behind planetary and stellar engineering. They are the foundation on which other races' ambitions are built. They would break apart worlds, reforge them, or strip them bare for raw materials. Whatever was needed, they would delve into stars and shattered planets to extract substances the council needed to fuel its great engines of creation. Now, despite them not being very ambitious in terms of politics, they did hoard a lot of secrets, many in relation to the precursors and Forerunner history, secrets that are unknown even to this day. Now, if you look at the height of a miner, especially compared to a builder, they're pretty short in stature. What their bodies did have to benefit were multiple redundancies, so perhaps if one organ failed, another would pick it up. And they also had a resilience that other races had looked at and edited out of their mutations as unnecessary. Their skin colour could range from dark grey to deep brown. They would generally be covered by the armour they wore. It would be designed to withstand the extreme environments in which they would work. Between the races, competition was fierce, but they wanted to call upon the expertise of the miners for highly sought construction projects and research efforts. They wanted these engineers and scientists to enrich their own projects. Now, when the builders and miners conspired together, what spawned from that would be very fruitful. They would each draw on each other's strengths and insights to create what are dubbed miracles even amongst the Forerunners. One such effort was to grow new slip space cores from flake extracted from the precursor core at the Maithrillian. Experiments to tap exotic natal dimensions, the mass-produced stars, and the creation of permanent rifts into slip space. As we mentioned earlier, the miners always had a deep interest in the precursors. They wanted to dive into and understand their forebears' secrets so that they could improve their own arts in extraction, creation, and manipulation. And so, based on the wants of the eldest of their rate, minor manipulators would look across the stars and the depths of slip space to find planets, moons, and stellar masses that possessed a strictly prescribed set of signature traces that might show that the precursors had been there. This was all done under a great veil of secrecy. Those that showed promise would be brought to a world engine at the periphery of Ecumene for deconstruction and analysis to reveal the enigmas that they sought to find. Unfortunately, we're not told what they did discover, but that's a very interesting tidbit. Almost like how the Covenant search for Forerunner artifacts, this rate within the Forerunner society searches for further depths and secrets that they can plume from the precursors. And on that intriguing note, friends, I'll end today's video on the builder and miner classes or rates.